Hey team, it's time for an early career designer's portfolio review. I'm Maigen Thomas and I'm a senior UX designer with almost 10 years of experience in enterprise software design. I've taught and mentored over 300 early career designers through UC Berkeley's UX UI Design Bootcamp. In this video, I'm going to review an early career designer's portfolio and share my thoughts as a senior designer. My goal is to provide actionable feedback to help them succeed as they look for a job in the UX industry. Join me for a stream of consciousness walkthrough as I assess one of their case studies. Remember, mine is just one opinion. Make sure to get multiple perspectives before making any changes. All right, let's dive into the review and learn together. Happy Sunday, friends. It's time to review another early career design portfolio. I am excited. I am here with Shalani, and I'm going to hopefully get this right is what I'm hoping for. But Shalani didn't indicate how to pronounce her last name, so I'm going to go with Jhunjhunwala. I hope that is somewhere close to the realm of the pronunciation, but I feel like I've got it nailed on Shalani. So I'm excited to review Shalani's portfolio. And one of the only pieces of information that she provided on the intake form was, how does it stand out to recruiters, and does it look different than other portfolios that, people I'm competing with? So that's a great question. Let's dig into it. First, I really like that you went with just something a little bit different. I know mostly we see a lot of light-toned portfolios like light mode, but that's like the default mode now. So dark mode is a really intentional choice and I like it. I also love your picture here. It is professional and it's not terribly staged. I think it's very genuine. So I think that's awesome. Let's see, we got a little bit of about. So you're a UI UX designer based in India with a background in spatial, sustainable, and graphic design. I'm excited to know what that means. So I'm assuming that is spatial design, sustainable design, and graphic design. So just making sure I understand what's going on here. And you've got over 5 years of experience across these design areas. So you did the UX UI Design Bootcamp at UC Berkeley, and you already have a master's degree in interior design from Florence Design Academy. This is amazing. And you've got multiple certifications in sustainable and well-being design. Now that's an interesting perspective we don't typically see. I love the interior design. I've seen a few folks cross over from interior design to UX design, but bringing along that sustainability and well-being, such as the LEED certification, that's really cool. So you're a VRBIM technologist at M. Moser Associates. I would call out what that means. Most people probably will just glance at it and go like, all right, cool, and then move on. But I'm genuinely curious about humans. I love all of the different ways that we show up and that we manifest our future. So I'm just interested in what that is. So using acronyms or, abbreviations makes it kind of difficult to totally understand, what does that mean? And maybe you've got that because it's not a terribly exciting title, and that's okay too. I've had similar roles where it's just like that doesn't really explain what I do. So no worries. All right. So you love designing user-centric products and services while looking at the feasibility of the technology and viability of the business. Yes, that is fantastic. Okay. More about you, some of your interests outside design, how you discovered your love for design. This is so cute. I really like this. I love that you designed this. Now I'm super curious what this is built on. Let's see. Who do we got? Squarespace. Wow, this is a really good use of a Squarespace template because I did not honestly think that this was necessarily Squarespace. Oh, this is fantastic. You are an amazing artist. Love. Okay. And then you've got your resume in here. I would make sure that opens in a new tab, but this looks fantastic. And then you can also download it. Awesome. I think you're doing great. Okay, so let's see. Here's your work. What is also, let me see if I scroll down this on the homepage. All right, so I would also see that, I assume. This looks really good. All right, so art class, social marketplace app to share and learn exciting craft techniques nearby or virtually. Interesting. So you've got end-to-end UX, it's mobile, and it's leveraging UI design. That's fantastic. I love these details. Website redesign for a furniture store in New Delhi. Yes. UX research, branding, and website redesign. Oh, and I love that you've got your years here. So it looks like this is probably the one that you're really the most excited about. And then you've got UX program by Accenture and British Petroleum. Now I'm curious. 5-day sprint end-to-end UX design challenge. And this is a lyric mode feature for its users to read and see lyrics while listening to the song. Okay, interesting. Oh, there's so many things. So this must be a UX program where you learn through Accenture Product Design Virtual Experience Program, New York Jobs CEO Council. Okay, interesting. All right, I'm not going to, I guess I chose this. Although it's the last one on your portfolio. So now I'm like, am I just leaning into what I'm most curious about? This is probably the one you're most proud of. And this one right here is probably the one that is most impactful to like a real world experience that you might have. Oh, this is hard. I'm already loving the layout that you've decided to use. This is interesting, using the double diamond process, building a shared understanding. I love how you got these logos. Oh goodness. This is hard. Which do I want to look at? So if I'm putting myself in my hiring manager or recruiter shoes, this is already really compelling. I find it interesting that I'm almost overwhelmed by the interest that I have in each of these projects. And I'll tell you that that is not typical if you've seen some of my videos. But I get excited about seeing everything. So let's be real. UX design rationale and then an EV route planning app. I'm going to go with inorganic.in because this is most close to a real world project that you would actually likely complete in something that I would actually hire you for. So this might be actually, because I don't have the context for those, if I'm a hiring manager and I have very limited time to find out more about you, I might not dive into these if I don't know what these programs are. Me personally, Maigen Thomas, I love finding out new things. So now I'm going to go find out about these and I'm genuinely curious. But if I was a hiring manager, I'm probably going to lean towards the project that has the most applicability to whatever situation I need to hire you for. And that's likely to be a website redesign or something. Oh, I'm already liking the visuals. This looks really pretty. So you're showing me that this might be what it looks like either on a tablet or just kind of like a screenshot of the whole page. I like how you've laid things out at the top. It looks very sharp. It looks very interesting. It's definitely more compelling than most of the case study headers that we see. All right, so website redesign and branding. It's a furniture store. It makes handcrafted, design-driven furniture. Okay, so across India via their website. You've identified target clientele. This is for the customer. So this inorganic.in or .in, these are the people, their ideal customer profile. So we're looking at homeowners, working professionals, business owners, people who have a little bit of disposable income and are looking to buy some nice furniture. Maybe not their first furniture for a house, but more established professionals. So 32 to 60. And we've got a lot of e-commerce markets appearing on the market, or websites appearing on the market daily. God, that's true. It's a basic need for a website that just helps users make selection and purchase simple. Okay, so we've got that same process overview. Love that you are following. This is how you explain your design process without having the very typical design, ideate, define, or empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. Oh, are we all tired of seeing that? Yes. Okay, this is great. I also love how you bring this in. I think that's cute. So we know we're in the discover phase and we're building a shared understanding. We interview stakeholders, find out what their expectations are, and you've interviewed the dev and support teams and your potential users. This is exciting. This kind of covers the gamut, and this is a great example for other people to learn from. You don't need to explain how you interviewed the stakeholders and how you created a user interview spreadsheet or checklist for the developers and the support teams. This is a whole lot of research and you've summed it up to one line. What did you get insights on? And then you've defined jobs to be done. Fantastic. I love that this is a visual. Actually, it might not even be a visual. That's interesting. Good for you. This is great. So we're basically saying, all right, we've done some stakeholder interviews. Here's some questions we asked them. We want to know, what are your expectations? What do you expect to happen here? What does success look like for you? did some user interviews. What do you expect? What do you want to see on this website? How is that going to help you make a decision and spend money with us? And then, of course, the understanding of the clientele: who, what, why, how, when. Interesting. Love this. And it's super easy and clear. You've just covered what most people spend pages and pages talking through in their case study in a simple, relatively simple text-based visual and a little bit of paragraph of here's what we did. Nice. All right, so we're still in the discover phase. We're going to review analytics. Since we're doing a redesign, we have the luxury of learning from analytics and checking what currently works or doesn't and what we can do from there. Usage data is the most persuasive argument we will have when we need to justify, review this. So usage data is the most persuasive argument you have when you need to justify your design decisions with stakeholders and a baseline that we can use. You're going back and forth between you and we. Make sure to tighten that up a little bit. It just makes it easier to process. Sharing of the analytics is restricted. Completely understandable. We would not want to see our competitors. Well, we would definitely want to see our competitors' data, which is why we should not share it there. That's a really good call. And I think any hiring manager completely understands that. Tracking their entry and exit, what browser and screen size, where they're coming from. And also I would want to make sure just to include in here, did you check like what were some of the keywords? Are you actually hitting the target market and the content on the page? Like that is SEO and that is not necessarily in UX world, but it does help us understand what are the customers looking for when they arrive on our website, and do we understand, are we meeting their expectations? So that's great. Deconstructing the existing design. We look out for patterns and flows that users understand and use frequently. All right, you've got this labeled, product categories, bestseller product grid, thoughtful treasures gifting section. That's cute. And then new collections. All right, so we are doing some annotation to make sure we understand what exists on the site that we should also translate to the redesign. This looks really beautiful though, so I'm wondering what the new redesign looks like, or if these are screenshots of what is new. I don't know. All right. Blog cards, very cool. What's that? Welcome to our guide. This feels like it might be really small text, but these are probably an image. Let's see, that's probably half the size of my screen. So if that doubles the size of the text, once it's in the real size, it's probably fine. But that might be something that you addressed. Okay. Love it. Defining jobs to be done. There are many activities that can be done to understand users better, build empathy, personas, user journeys, and value propositions, but there's not always time to do them when we're talking about something small. So maybe not talking about something small. This is talking about a rapid redesign. Maybe you're talking about the constrictions that you actually had to work within. So an essential thing I did was to list jobs to be done to understand the user's motivations and expectations. I would probably just readdress this. This is probably something small, but it's very interesting to say, instead of calling it a small project, which sort of almost diminishes what you've brought to the project, I would rephrase that as, when we're talking about a short timeline, I only had this much time to work with, so I made the best decision that I could that I knew would get me to the next stage of my design process. And yes, that's a lot of words. I have a tendency to do that. But if anything, I would just adjust that tiny bit of language. This is great. So the situation when I'm looking, I would want to add, when I'm looking at an online furniture store, I want to see a fresh and inviting design so I can be in the right frame of mind for the difficult process of furniture shopping. Okay. When I'm looking for a new coffee table, I want to get recommendations and check reviews. Okay, yeah. I would also maybe want to see measurements so I can make sure I will like it and don't waste my time. When I'm in the furniture store checking out the furniture, I want to get ratings and info quickly with a cover scan. I want to know what that is so that I can do it fast without typing and searching for it. Oh, like scanning the actual item or something. Okay, that's interesting. All right, I see that we've moved to the define phase. We've done some competitive analysis. Creating a simple matrix and listing features and pros of competition helps to identify key problem areas and find improvement opportunities. There we go. Comparing it to the existing website gives us a high-level overview of where we stand. Shalani, I need to tell you that this is already exactly, I mean, again, you mentioned when you reached out to me that you have actually looked at my previous videos. This is what I call out. Give me a couple of lines so that I understand what you did and why you did it. So comparing it to the existing website gives us a high-level overview of where we stand. So we're not trying to compare everything on every single possible level. It's not possible to make sure you get absolutely every data point. And it's exhaustive. And is that really the best use of your time when you have limited time to complete a project? So this is super smart. I really like how you've described this, and I think other people should pay attention to that. Okay. The website's best feature, best for, and cons. I love that unclear website goal. Really good. Iffy sitemap. Interesting. And then unattractive website layout. Oof, it's a real struggle when it's not attractive, but you're trying to sell me high quality, high price furniture. All right. Value versus effort. Okay. We need to understand what are the low-hanging fruits. For each opportunity, we need to understand what it will take to deliver it and how much value we can add for the end user. Ideally, we want to focus on the upper right quadrant in the graph below. I love that this is, and I don't actually, you said you're based in India, so this is really interesting. Something I have really tried to avoid, and I had a great conversation this weekend about this. Euphemisms and turns of phrase and just things that we say that fall off the tongue. They don't always translate for people who didn't grow up hearing those phrases. So that, and like some of them have really weird, they have real weird, what's the etymology of the word? Like, we don't need to look at the origins of that phrase. So if anything, if that is super common to say the low-hanging fruit, it might be more clear to say the easy wins, the things that we know we can make the highest impact with the smallest amount of effort. So that could be a rephrase. But again, this is fantastic. Value to the users, effort on our part, add sections about workmanship, clients and portfolio, refine UI and branding, design recommendations, feeds should be restructured and categories should be differentiated more, redefine sitemap. This is great. This is actually helpful. Things that you can, in general, understand what are the changes we could make and how valuable to the user would they be versus how much effort we need to put in. Fantastic use of that grid. All right, we're in the explore stage. Before diving into hand sketching, I ideated on site mapping. It's okay, you ideated because we're redesigning. So you're thinking about the website navigation, the information architecture, to improve and avoid missing out on critical parts of a website's architecture. What does missing out mean? Ultimately, site mapping helps us deliver a better user experience. Okay, I can work with that. Home, shop, about us, contact us. Are these the links on the page? I think so. Maybe they're internal links and these are the sections on the page. That's fine. Furniture, kitchen, decor, and lights. This might be actual sections of the website, so you could click on the furniture page. Would I expect to see a founders page? Maybe. It might also be just an unnecessary number of pages, but I assume that you've actually done the work to decide that this is the good decision. Banner, highlights, bestseller, inspiration, collaboration. So these are sections on the home page, and these are pages within the shop page. I would probably make that a little bit more distinctive and less of a link, and because you're implying that these are the exact same things, but they're kind of not. I think for most people it's totally fine. I just happen to be kind of like a little bit obsessed with sitemaps, and now I want to know how Abby Covert would actually describe this. Now I'm going to do some research. I'll get back to you. All right, we got wireframes. So you implied that you went into hand sketching, but you didn't show your hand sketches. Good job. They're not always necessary. It is an output that we create, but is it totally necessary to telling the flow of the story? It's not. And I actually really like that you're keeping this very like clean and high fidelity within the case study without overwhelming the user with like, here's all the stuff I made. Okay, fine. I get it. Like, all right. Shop by category, shop furniture. This is great. This is very simple, but it does show that you understand spacing and how to group elements. It shows that you have a clear handle on like the Gestalt laws, the laws of form and function and how things are related to each other. So this is really good. Testing and improvements. I tested my design with 5 users and got feedback from them and my mentor. Great. Okay. I feel like that's totally fine. I would, in a couple of years, probably take that off, honestly, just because it shows not a borderline lack of confidence. And that doesn't mean you're not competent, but it means that I didn't believe that I was truly understanding the feedback that I got from users. So I double checked with someone who's more senior to me. And with 5 years of experience across this, now that doesn't mean I know that you have 5 years of UX design experience, and maybe I'm just extracting from that information on your about page and applying it. But it is not a bad thing. It just kind of implies that maybe you're a little lower to midweight than you actually are. So consider what that indicates. And it probably means something absolutely fine, because I check with my mentor all the time. I just don't tell everybody. So you use their input to make low fidelity design better. In the end, I made 3 important changes. Yes. Suggested related products. This handy feature in an e-commerce furniture website entails a personal recommendation system that suggests additional pieces to clients based on their browsing or purchase history. Okay, love that table. Shop the look feature. Love that. A few years ago, they ended up creating like tappable images, and there was like an entirely separate SaaS product that created it, and then Instagram put that into their feed. And yeah, if I see something I like, I want to know how to get exactly that. Don't make me search for it. So this is awesome. And then a detailed buying guide included explanations on how to select an item that suits customers' demands, how to return it, how to assemble it painlessly, or how to order the respective service. Okay, that's fantastic. You've got your visual language. I don't think it's too overwhelming, so that is totally fine. And then you did also mention that this was a UI design and a rebranding. So got it. Gilded display and open sans. Love that combo. Very clean. This is beautiful. I love this type of mock-up. So really, really good work. Breaking down the design. Yes. Okay. I don't know why, but annotations are probably one of my favorite things. And it is the lowest effort, highest value thing that you can put on your portfolio. It just communicates your thinking in a very visual, literal, connect the dots kind of way, so that other people go, oh, I understand what you're pointing to, and I understand what you're trying to say. I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite things in the whole world. So introduction about founding members, information about the raw materials and workmanship, popularity in the media. Yes. So you're relying on social proof. This is social interconnectedness. This is fantastic. Help them understand function, furniture and space relationship. Love. To allow users to browse the most popular products, to allow users to know what products are used to curate the specific look. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Even though this is not about the UX of it, it kind of is. You're helping guide the hiring manager or the recruiter through the experience, like from the perspective of the customer or what the customer might need in that context. This is awesome. And then link to the final prototype. I don't usually click through those. This is fantastic. How did I feel working on this design challenge? What would I have done differently? Oh, check out an AR flow. Okay, cool. Thank you for watching. And then yes, you invite people to check out your other projects too. Oh my gosh. Shalani, this is fantastic. I think this is one of the strongest portfolios that I've seen in a while. I genuinely want to find out how you're doing in your job search, how that's going. But this looks so good. It looks very professional. I can tell that you're not truly a junior designer. You have clearly worked in the visual and graphic design space for a while. So you bring a UI design perspective and a design talent that most folks who are career changers don't typically have unless they have a design background. So I'm super impressed. I genuinely hope this was helpful. I really think I just drove through this and complimented with a couple of updates that you could possibly make to it. But honestly, keep it. This is fantastic. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. I genuinely would love to know from anyone who is listening, who's made it this far, what can you change about your case study that would align with some of the compliments that I've given to Shalani throughout this case study review, And I want to know your before and after. Like, seriously, tag me in it, hit me up on LinkedIn. But I want to see, like, if you took an insight from this and could apply it to just one section of your case study, I want to know what it is, and I want to see the before and after. All right. Everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you so much, Shalani, for letting me review your portfolio. It was a true delight. And I'll see you next week for another early career designer portfolio review. Please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. In fact, drive your mouse down over, what is it, down here, somewhere over here, and click on that subscribe button. First of all, it gives me an actual thrill every time I see it. But it also helps me bring this content to other early career designers who need a little bit of encouragement, some mentorship and motivation. And I will see you all soon. Everyone have a great day. Bye.